Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Self-love through freedom and connection. So feel free to connect to The Brave Never Fall on these social media platforms. If you find anything of value in this following podcast, hit that like button, subscribe and share, and support the brave and bold tribe growing one purposeful soul at a time. There are no coincidences in life. The strength you have is real. Each breath you take is a blessing. Don't give up, give more. Believe in yourself and trust yourself. How are you feeling? Take a moment to do a self-check-in for yourself. How are you feeling mentally? How are you feeling emotionally? How are you feeling physically? How are you feeling spiritually? Are you feeling balanced? Are you still journeying on an intentional, purposeful path? How are you feeling? Balancing yourself is a healthy daily practice that will reliably keep you in harmony with your entire mind, body, heart, and soul. Clear your mind. Take a moment of silence for yourself right now in the moment. You are here now. How are you feeling? Loyalty to those you are aligned with will always bring you peace, as long as they are aligned with you. Internal, external. Very simple concept. It's all about balance. Who you are inside, you will attract on the outside. If you're not feeling like you're up to par in life in certain areas, and on the outside, you're accepting people, places, and things into your life, you're going to see that the things that tend to stick around are the things that are most aligned like you are inside, or they're going to go away if they're not. If you're a great person inside, you're going to attract great people. They will stay long. They will stay forever. They'll be committed unconditionally to you. Same with the places. They will be there for you. The things will be there for you if they are aligned with who you are. After a time, after a while, if you have not aligned with yourself, those things that you hold so dear that you feel are great, if you're the opposite of that, those great things are going to leave. Those places that you love so much are going to dissipate and fade away. You will no longer be welcome there. The things that you have will be lost and they'll be broken and damaged. They no longer serve a purpose in your life. We have to be loyal to ourselves. And when we are, the loyalty to everyone outside of us is that much stronger. The people on the outside will be as loyal to you as you are to yourself, and vice versa. It's all a balancing act. The more we invest time and energy in being good for ourselves, the better people we will find that are good people that invest that time in us in return. Loyalty to yourself means you should be loyal to others. At least that's the idea. In order to create and sustain eternal peace for ourselves, we receive what we internally have grown and give externally as gifts. When we feel and unconditionally know our lives are a gift, it makes recognizing the gifts in others, and we can then love them unconditionally as well. Unconditional love for ourselves is loyalty, peace, and trust. We are loyal to so many people, places, and things in our lives, yet too often aren't as loyal to our own growth and development. We celebrate so many people, places, and things, yet do not celebrate ourselves on the same level. We want to be loved by others, want them to be happy so they make us happy, yet we are not focused enough on our own happiness so we can make them happy. We have to be what we want. When we be what we want, we attract that into our lives. If we want peace from others, we have to be at peace. If we want loyalty from others, we have to be loyal. It's our birthright to be at peace with ourselves and with every person, place, or thing in our lives. Every day won't be the brightest, happiest, but one thing is for certain. You will always be there. Despite your day being bright and happy or dark and depressing, it's up to you to balance yourself out internally so you can then balance all of your obligations externally. Playing victim in life will inevitably cause you pain and leave you alone. It is not our birthright to play victim, ask for more than we can give, take what we don't deserve, have that what we haven't earned. To undervalue those who love us unconditionally out of selfishness, weakness, and egotism. To not trust those who have supported us, consistently have shown up for us, and have accepted and appreciated us for who we are, flaws included. All of that is not our birthright. As a growing person, our birthright is to see the good in ourselves and love ourselves for it, and do the same for those who are doing those things for themselves. Valor on the Moonbows, Episode 9, The Peace of Loyalty. One of the things I like to do often is dive inwards, internally, and find out what's in there. And the reason for that daily meditation is for me to understand what I don't understand about myself. And the more I do that, I will close doors on certain things I feel like I have worked on, and they no longer have to be a super focal point in my life, but they still will always be in my life and a focal point. At some point, they will rotate back around, just like We go around the sun every year on this earth. That particular focal point that I can kind of sit on a shelf will eventually come back around, and I would have to focus on it again because I've grown in other areas, and to balance everything out, everything has to constantly be reevaluated. And the only word I really could think of to describe what that is just internal loyalty to yourself and the peace that it brings. There's a reason why we do anything. Most of the time, we're at our happiest when we're doing things that brings us peace, and we know that it's going to be reoccurring, which is why I say all the time that being disciplined, we're all super disciplined about things, especially when it comes to making us happy. We have no problem being disciplined about the things that makes us happy. We have a problem being disciplined about the things that are going to be challenging. And there's a huge difference there. There's a huge divide. My job as a coach is to help people bridge the discipline of happiness with the discipline of challenge, with endurance. Can you bridge that discipline with endurance? Can you endure those challenging times so you can enjoy that peace and happiness? And only each individual knows this. There's an exercise that I do often that I say, I'm sorry, I apologize. And I do that to myself. And one of the things I do is I say to myself, I apologize for not being stronger for you sooner. I'm talking to my spirit, my body, my mind, my heart, all of these things. I apologize to you for not being stronger, for not loving you more, for not respecting you more, for not being loyal to you. I've done things that have pushed you to the brink. I've done things to make you hurt. I've done things to unnecessarily make you unravel and do things you're ashamed of and you're not proud of. I've done things that on a second time around, again, when we reevaluate things, this time it will be different. And the point of those exercises is it's the internal peace that I have through that loyalty to myself, which is basically self-love. All that loyalty that I have to myself brings me peace. Now your job is to make sure that that is filtered outwards, that you don't hold on to that. One of the great things about being a human being, one of the reasons why we're on this earth is to reproduce, to pass on, And to pass on things can be, people look at hand-me-downs like, well, why would I want your hand-me-downs? Well, but you take them if they're high value, right? If somebody has a high value item and they hand them down to you, you're going to take it. If it's low value, you're going to say, I'll take it, but you're probably going to discard it the first chance you get when that person isn't looking. So the more value you have internally, when it's time to push that externally, look what happens. You have a gift for someone. And that gift is not so much you, but the mechanisms, the discipline, the know-how to pass on the knowledge of how you got to that place. And it's reassuring for this person because they can always see you're working on yourself and you're never going to stop. This applies to relationships, to work environments, to church environments, any type of dynamic where there's relationships and connections involved. The more people can see that you're working on yourself and you're committed to yourself and you're disciplined about being at peace and happiness with yourself, the more people you're going to draw in that is like that. Like attracts like. You will attract who you are. And the whole point of the saying I'm apologizing exercise is not to hold that in. It's external. You say it as well external. And that's the hard part. It's very hard to apologize and to say that you're wrong. I say this a lot in The Brave Never Fall. It's something I tell a lot of people. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how much of a failure you are. The common denominator between that divide is you. It will always be you. You will always be the common denominator in all your success and all your failures. And when the time comes for you to say to someone that you're sorry, or I forgive you, or I'm not being resentful, it's time to do that. And why is that? Because you should be doing that with yourself every day. The more at peace you are with yourself, the easier it is to do those type of things externally. The happier you are internally, the easier it is to be happy externally. And not only for yourself, but for other people. Self-love, contrary to popular belief, does not mean selfishness. It means you're working on yourself. So you're the best person you can be in any room that you walk into, or if you're just alone, regardless of the eyeballs are on you or not. There's a quote that I like about, don't just have integrity when you're around other people. Have integrity when you're by yourself. And that's the same for any type of value or moral that you have. Don't play the game. Don't pretend. Don't be someone you're not. Don't flash a smile that isn't genuine. Don't extend a hand that isn't genuine. Don't give a hug that isn't genuine. Don't give a kiss that isn't genuine. Don't make love when it's not genuine. Don't do any of those things. Don't enter a relationship if it's not genuine. If you're not ready to stand the test of time of that relationship, the ups and downs of that workplace, of that church, are you committed or are you not? How do we get to that place? We have to learn how to be at peace and loyal to the process of ourselves. And we mirror that outwards. And we invite people in who are like-minded. Like attracts like. So that exercise of apologizing to sins of other people. If you're listening to this and you know me, I apologize for not showing up the way that I should. I apologize for not being as strong as I should be when the time is crucial. I apologize for not having the amount of knowledge acquired at this particular point in my life to be more than what you believe I should be. I apologize for all these things because those are things I'm working on myself. Those are things that I say to myself. When you decide to work on yourself, you're entering a relationship with yourself just like you would enter a relationship with someone who is not you. It's the same commitment. Perception is a big thing in life. We perceive what we feel inside. If we perceive ourselves to be a certain way, if we're doing certain things a certain way, then everyone around us must be doing this too. And that's why having these meditations and coming to terms with who you are truly inside helps with your perception on the outside. You no longer care about what other people are doing because you know you're going to attract the right people to you, and the people that are wrong for you are going to eventually, one way or the other, go away. Either you have to make them go away or they're going to go away on their own. But that's the way the world works. What you feel inside, what peace and joy and happiness you have inside, you're going to attract that on the outside, and all that negative shit and all those negative toxic people that are out there will eventually bounce off and go away. That's just the way it works, which is why I love doing these exercises, because I need to know who I am. And this is something, again, if you listen to this, I apologize for not knowing this sooner. And this goes back years before my awakening, and as close as last week, because we're always growing. You always are growing. You're always learning new things. If I had known these things, if I'd known how to do these meditations back 20 years ago, my life would be completely different. But they weren't. My life went the way it's supposed to go, and I accept that. But that doesn't mean I can't look back and say, what are those things I could have changed? If I went back and if I could change anything, what could I have changed? I wouldn't change a whole lot, but I would have liked to have known some things that I didn't know. You know, it would have been nice to have a cell phone with internet back when I was a teenager. It would have been real nice to have stuff like that, because for me, it was a lack of knowledge. We didn't have podcasts back then, but now we do. And now I can listen to podcasts. I can look at other people's points of view. I can read. I'm mature. I've learned. I've been married. I've had a kid. I've had relationships that have been great and some not so great. I've had friendships that have come and gone. And ultimately, you have to be comfortable with being alone. You have to be comfortable and happy with yourself. And when that happens, that's when people start to show up. When you're happy and you're comfortable and you're at peace and you're being loyal to the process of yourself internally, that's when the good stuff and the good people and the good places start to show up. And that is the whole point of getting to terms with peace in yourself, because it helps with trusting yourself. And the more you trust yourself, the more you'll trust other people. The more you love yourself, the more you'll genuinely love other people. The more you love yourself unconditionally, the more you'll love other people unconditionally. It's all a balancing act between the internal and the external. What you do and how you pass it on to other people. Are you treating people the way you want to be treated? Are you attracting people that are like you? Or are you trying to attract people that you know you're not like and would never be like? And then you wonder why it fails. The whole point in life is to gain success, to grow, to ascend, to augment, to get better. And if anything, any person or any place is holding you back from that, yes, we can look at the external and say, it's all their fault for me not getting what I want. But what you're going to end up with every single time is you. It's going to happen every single time. It doesn't matter what happened on the external, what you think this person said, what you think this person did, how you perceived it. Internally, it's always going to be you alone figuring out what happened. And if you don't check and see what part you played in it, you will never grow. We all make mistakes. And that's part of my meditation. I go to bed and I ask myself, what did I do wrong today? And I go through all that before I get to what I did right. Because when I get to what I did right, I want my thoughts to be in a positive light when I finally go to sleep. I don't want to think about all the negatives before I go to sleep. I want to think about everything that I did right and what I'm going to correct tomorrow. Every day we do things that we're not proud of, that we could have done better, that we could have done less of. We do that every day. We get judged by other people. We have to enter relationships and workplaces and environments where we're constantly trying to maintain our internal balance and balance this with all the energy from other people, regardless if it's family members, friends, coworkers. It's all a balancing act. It's almost like a circus act. It's just sometimes it's a wonder it works at all. But the good constant thing that we have is that we know good when we know it. We know when it's a good workplace. We know when it's a good church. We know when it's a good religion. We know when it's a good book, a good movie, a good relationship, a good kiss. We know all these things. Do we ask ourselves those same things internally with ourselves? What is good about us? What do we know is genuinely good about us? And what do we know genuinely is not so good about us? And I say not so good instead of bad because unless you're malicious and you're just not, actively just not even trying to fix something that you know is completely wrong with yourself, which most people, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that most people aren't like that. It's not that you're bad. It's just you're trying to work on things that aren't so good. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all are. You make mistakes every single day. That does not mean the person is a monster. It doesn't mean the person isn't regretful of what they've done. It doesn't mean that that workplace that you work at is not going to be better the next day that you work there. It doesn't mean that just because the church is having a bad time, you just run. It doesn't mean just because your religion is not working for you in the way, quote unquote, you see it to be. So whatever God you believe in or whatever spirit you believe in has let you down, you just run. Running is not going to help you. What helps you is understanding who you are. Because all that other stuff, again, will take shape and form and be best for you. It will show up in the best form for you. As bad as those things are, when things leave our life, when we have something we think is good, there's always more people out there. There's always more churches. There's always more jobs. There's always more relationships, more friends. The problem is, let's go back to that divide of being happy versus challenging. We don't want to get to that place of there's more out there because that means we have to be alone for a while. And we don't want to do that. But we can't get out of our own way because we're constantly worried about all this external stuff and we haven't worked on the internal. We're not at peace with ourselves and we wonder why we're standing in between the divide on a really horrible bridge that's about to collapse, and we don't know how to. We're like, what should I go over to the happiness? Should I sprint back to the misery? What should I do? It's very simple. You already know what to do. You already know. Because one thing that I love about being at peace and being loyal with the process to myself is that comes from trust. The more you trust yourself, the easier those decisions come, the easier it is to stand alone when you have to stand on your morals, your values, and your principles, and then you suddenly don't have to worry about trusting everyone else. The right people that are there for you and they're consistent with you and have been there for you and they've supported you and they love you unconditionally, they're going to always be there for you. The job that appreciates you, doesn't undervalue you, and loves your work and knows the commitment you've made to the company, to the wherever you're working for, they're going to appreciate you and they're going to always be there for you. You're never going to lose your job. The family members that are with you, that support you and want you to truly be happy, that can see all the good in you, that don't diminish you, they're always going to be there for you. And the good thing about it is, if anything, any place, or any person is not that way towards you, you have lost your self-respect for yourself. And a loss of self-respect is a loss of peace. It's a loss of loyalty to the process of who you are internally. And you don't have unconditional love for yourself. If you allow other things externally to get you to a place where you lose good things based on your insecurities. You lose good people based on your insecurities. You lose good things based on your insecurities. Because fear, limited beliefs, and doubt creeps in and you sabotage yourself. I've done it. I've done it in the past. I know it when I see it. I know it when I feel it. And it's very important to me when I get to those places where those limited beliefs start to pop in, where those doubts start to creep in, I can handle it. We know what we really want in life. We know who we want in life. We know what things we want in life, at least at this point. Especially if you're an adult. If you've lived long enough, you know what you want. You may not know if you're going to actually get those things, but what we do know is that if we want something, we can actively try to create whatever it is within ourselves to make sure we have the best chance to get those things. Sabotaging ourselves by not understanding ourselves and not understanding how that filters out to other people. If you don't understand yourself, it's hard to understand other people. But the good thing about it is if you don't understand yourself and you don't know how to do certain things and you're working on things, that's why there are good people in your life that you can walk up to and say, hey, you've been here with me all this time. You supported me. You love me. I'm going to stick with you. I'm not going to get to a place with you that makes you feel like I don't want you. Same with your job. If you have a great job and everything's going great and you're feeling it and there's nothing wrong, you're not going to leave that job. It's bringing you too much of what you know is you internally. It's aligning perfectly with you. And if not perfectly, close enough, good enough. Not everything in life is perfect because things change. All I know is that in life, as we go through it, wow, we want that peace. We want that happiness. We want everything about life that is good. And we all deserve that. That's our birthright to get that. It is not our birthright to hold on to things that holds us back, to be committed to people who don't appreciate us and undervalue us, to have our own people in our lives, our family members, our closest friends, our closest coworkers, our closest churchgoers, to come to us and treat us as if we don't matter. If you're listening to this, you do matter. You are loved. You are a great person. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are important. You have purpose, or you wouldn't be listening to this. You know this. People who don't know this or don't care don't listen to podcasts like these. My voice would be nails on a chalkboard to a person who does not want to grow, who does not understand the process of growth, who does not understand unconditional love, who does not understand empathy, These are all things that we all have inside of us at birth. We have a whole bunch of things inside of us at birth. Our birthright is to figure out what to throw away and what to keep. That is our right. And who cares what the outside world says about what you want? If you know you're a good person, if you know you have the best intentions and you are committed to someone, someplace, or something unconditionally, if other people don't see that, that's their problem, not yours. It is not our business to care about what other people believe we truly are, especially if those people are working on things that they haven't figured out for themselves. Again, common denominator. We're all working on something. Whatever somebody's complaining about to you, it would be real easy to figure out something equal to complain about to them about as far as their development goes, or what they're lacking in. You're never going to get it all in any relationship, in any workplace, or any church. There's always going to be certain things where you can say, I wish I was a little bit more aligned with that, but I got to take what I can take here because I'm the common denominator and I don't want the best of this place, the best of this thing, or the best of this person to leave my life because it's more than enough for me right now. And I know that there are not a lot of options out there for me right now as far as I am with my growth. That may be what you think. Someone else may be like, oh, there's plenty of options. I can't stop exploring them all. I'm not going to go to one church. I'm going to go to 6. There's people out there that say, I'm going to date 20 people every month. That's the difference in people. There's a difference in who we are internally. And it's none of our business. It's not our right to judge people that way. Because we certainly wouldn't want other people to judge us in the same way, especially if those people aren't even aligned with us and their values aren't aligned. It's nothing worse in the world to be told by somebody who you're not aligned with that you need to work on something, or you're untrustworthy, or you're not a good person, or you're going to fail. When you look at them and you're saying to yourself, well, this is coming from you, but if I was you, I would be changing a whole bunch of things, which is why you can get into a web of nonsense with this. There's another word for that. That's called drama. Be drama free. You cannot find peace and loyalty within yourself if you're wrapped up in drama within yourself. Could you imagine having the types of drama-filled situations like you have with family members or, co-workers with yourself every day? A lot of us do. How do you resolve those? You don't argue. You have a conversation with yourself. You don't argue with yourself. You have an internal conversation with yourself with a goal. And the goal is to resolve and get back to a peaceful state, to forgive, and to trust yourself that tomorrow you're going to make another mistake. But that doesn't make you a horrible person. It doesn't make you a person who doesn't have value, especially not high value. You have high value. That doesn't mean you should get so down on yourself where because you make a mistake or two or things get taken out of context from a coworker or from a churchgoer. It doesn't matter. The point is, what does your heart feel like? Who are you internally? The right people will see that externally. The wrong people will not see it at all. You'll be invisible to them. Or they'll misinterpret who you are, what your intentions are. That's their prerogative. That's their mindset. That's them. You are you. And we all make mistakes. You'll make another one tomorrow. You're going to make a few today. You're going to make a few tonight. There are always things we can do better. If we're not making those mistakes, if we're not going through situations, how do we grow? And are you playing it too safe? Are you expecting other people, places, and things to play it safe with you because you're afraid, again, of closing that divide of happiness from the challenging side of really getting what you want? If you really want something, it's never going to be easy. Not the things that are most valuable to you. Making $1 billion is not easy. Finding a good partner is not easy. Finding somebody that you can even have a good conversation with in any walk in life is not easy. Finding your best friend is not easy. You think about that. How often do you meet a new best friend? And it's just as hard, if not harder, to meet someone that's going to be your life partner. It doesn't come along often. Same with the great job. How often do you just land the perfect job? How often do you get to a place where it's just a perfect church? They don't happen all the time if you're out changing and looking around for all these things. You're going to find there's a void. You're not going to find success in all that. The only place we can really find all that is in ourselves. And if we try our best to align with the best people, places, and things in our life, that ultimately is going to make that divide so short you can jump back from the challenging part over to the happiness whenever you want. And that's what I try to do every day. I like a nice, healthy balance between happiness on one side and challenging on the other. Whoa, and my stomach's growling because I just got done with a workout and I just bridged through my running over to happiness because running makes me happy. And that's a perfect example. My stomach is literally growling like a weird, demented Sesame Street character. And so the good parts of me, I know on both sides of that divide. Good parts of me on the happy side, and there's good parts on the challenging side because I create the challenges, I create the happiness. I don't need to validate myself through other people. I don't need people to see me and say, you know, you're a good person, you're a bad person. It doesn't matter to me. I know who I am. I know what my intentions are. They're all good. They're all pure. I don't wake up any day trying to feel like it's my day to piss people off. It's my day to go to my job and to cause havoc. It's my day to go to my church and start gossiping. That's not what I do. It's not what I teach. It's not who I am. But the good thing about it is that those things that are good about you as an individual, when you're working on them and you know that peace is starting to wrap up nicely, that happiness is starting to come along, the great thing about it is that you can live in that. That is your home base. You suddenly don't need all these external people, places, and things to make you feel at home, to bring you joy and happiness. You can get all that by yourself. You can get all that by yourself. The bonuses is when you're aligned with people out there who have supported you, who have loved you no matter what has happened in your life, and they will continue to love you because they see the good in you even though you may not see it in yourself. And they have been there for you and they will always be there for you, whether you believe them or not. They can't make you believe they can't change your beliefs. They can't make you believe something more or less than what you believe. You have to do that. They can talk to you, they can listen, they can empathize, they can sympathize, but they can't make you believe. They can't make you trust. They can't make you love unconditionally. You have to do that. You have to want to do that. You have to come to them and say, this is who I am, as they have with you. Consistency. And that's the external. And then we take all of that and we go into ourselves, and like I do with my meditation practice, and we look at our day and our nights and we say, I had relationships with this person, I had this at work, this happened at school, this happened at church, whatever it is, family dynamic, friends. How does that all speak to who I am? What is everything that happened to me today? What does that say about me? What part did I play, good, bad, or ugly, with all the things that happened, good, bad, and ugly to me externally? How did it play internally? Am I at peace? Am I happy? Because I need to be. That is my goal. Because when I get that, someone, someplace, and something is going to show up in my life, and it's going to be as happy and at peace and as loyal, unconditionally with me as I am with myself. Trusting my intuition and knowing that the right people will enter my life at the right time, and those people will stay in my life if they were meant to be there. As long as I do my homework and I'm doing the things I need to do on my end to get at peace, I know I'll have the greatest people, places, and things in my life for as long as I live. Pledge with me. And listen to these words carefully. We're going to do this almost affirmation style, because this is needed. I'm going to repeat this and repeat this and repeat this, and I want you to repeat this with me. I am the strongest person that I know. Although I was once weak, today, here and now, I am the strongest person that I know. I know tomorrow may bring me rain. I know tonight may bring me pain. I know someday I may go insane, but I will never live my life in vain, because I am the strongest person that I know. No one can take my strength away from me but me. No one can reduce me to weakness but myself. No one can push me to failure but myself. And no one can make me ascend to the level that I know I need to be but myself. I pledge today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow that I will remain in this strength. I will remind myself daily that I am the strongest person I know. I will live in peace. I will live in purpose. And I will live in discipline, because I am the strongest person I know. This is your day. You are here now. These are your moments. You own them. You are brave, bold, powerful. You do believe in yourself. You know you have more in the tank. You know the glass is half full. There's still more room for improvement. There is no end. Believe, believe, believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Trust that you can do whatever it takes to accomplish whatever you want from life. You don't procrastinate. You don't embellish. You don't lie. You are true to yourself always. Knowledge is in your mind. Peace is in your heart. Balance is in your body. Purpose is in your soul. You are greatness. The sky is not the limit. You have purpose, fulfilling, intentful purpose. You are here for a reason. You are unique. You are self-love, self-discipline, self-respect, self-control. You have self-awareness. You are joy, peace, and happiness. You are freedom, and you're connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe. And if no one has told you this today, I love you. You deserve to hear that. Salute to you all. The brave never fall. Learn, laugh, and level up.